years, folks around here said you had a better chance of spotting Sasquatch off the coast of Hilton Head than finding an apex predator like a great white. Michalove hooked the first documented great white off the South Carolina coast.
Chip Michalove has been watching the sharks off the Hilton Head all summer, and he feels more sharks are coming this way.
Turning a lifelong obsession into a major scientific breakthrough.
I've always had an obsession since I was 4 years old. My parents booked a guy named Fuzzy Davis here. And ever since then, I was 4, I was scared to death. I thought we were gonna die. We were in this tiny little boat called the Jenny. And we caught a huge shark, caught about a 6-foot shark. And at the time I was scared to death. But then going back to Kentucky at that time, I just thought this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. And even at 4 years old, I was completely intrigued. And that's all I wanted to do was be on the water, fishing for something enormous. I wasn't as interested in like striped bass or largemouth bass. I just wanted to catch the largest thing in that pond or lake, or when we came back to the ocean. So Fuzzy Davis was the one that, planted the seed and started my obsession. When I was growing up, when I was in high school here, we'd have these big turtles wash up on the beach, dead, and they'd have these big half moons cut out of them. And it would be like January, February, March, those months, and it'd make the paper. And it would always say like it was a tiger shark. But I knew, like, even then I was like, there's no way that's a tiger shark. We've got a great white out there. We've at least got one. And I'm just gonna, if I keep going every year, maybe once or twice a winter, eventually I'm gonna see one. And as I established my business and was able to like kind of experiment a little bit out there in the wintertime, in the slow season, I started trying different areas. And I remember, like, I've got 2 books at my house, one for skunks and one for catches. Every time I got skunked, I'd write down the water temperature, the water clarity, the wind direction, the time of year, what I saw. Then I would write down the tides, the moon, the birds, whatever I saw. And then finally we got into a really good pattern where I'm like, okay, this spot is really good, but only on an incoming tide and only in January. So I started trying different areas, 80 miles out, 50 miles out, trolling, drifting, anchoring, and everybody thought I was nuts. A lot of people are like, there's a better chance of seeing the Loch Ness Monster out there in the wintertime than seeing a great white shark, because 12 years ago, it was completely different. It wasn't like it is now. But there's no better motivation when somebody says it can't be done or it didn't happen. The first great white shark I ever saw was by myself, because I was still trying and I was getting skunked a lot trying. This sounds crazy, but I blacked out. It scared me so bad. Because being the only one catching them, there's no history of anybody in the Southeast catching these things. So we knew nothing of it. From everything I know, it's from watching Jaws, and you know how Jaws ends. So I'm thinking this thing's gonna jump in the boat and take me down. So the first one I ever saw, it was circling the boat, and it scared me so bad that I blacked out a little bit. I don't even remember it the way I did. And I've got baits out, and it's not interested in the bait, it's interested in me. As this thing's swimming around the boat, it's like tilted up and it's looking at me, like he's eyeballing me. He's not interested in it at all. And it was wild. And so I just thought, you know what, this thing's too big. I mean, we catch 1,200, 1,500 pound tiger sharks in the Sound, but I've never seen an animal so big that it could eat any tiger shark I ever caught. So so eventually I threw a carcass in, I jigged it a couple times, and he came up and swallowed it, swam away a little bit, and I was just like, oh my gosh, here we go. This is the dream right here. And I set the hook and it took off like a train, and I chased it by myself all day into the night, and I lost it. And I'll never forget, I was so mad, but at the same time, like, I set out what I want to do. I have no pictures or video of this thing, but my eyes saw a great white shark. Like, nobody can ever tell me anything different. And then the paper ran a story about it. Like, did it even happen? No pictures, no video. And that was even more motivation. So I went back 3 days later to the same spot, same tide, and I got another one. And it's just, man, it's been a dream. Like, it's been an absolute dream. So, but that first one, man, that freaked me out. I'll never forget it. Like, what I remember of it that I didn't black out on, that was a day that was, I probably think about it, every couple of days. The whole thing rolls through my mind again. So after the first great white, I had the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy reach out, and they said, hey, there's no science of anything in the southeastern United States. There's no data of any great whites down there. Would you be willing to put some tags in for us? It's like, absolutely, send it down. And just as a fisherman, like, you know, I'm a fisherman, I'm not a scientist, but just as a fisherman, I want to know what happens after the release. I mean, I think we all do. All the way going back to when I was 5 years old. Did that bluegill make it? Did that bass make it? Did the catfish make it? Did the tarpon make it? So it's so cool to put these trackers, these devices on these sharks to see where they go after release. Are they all making it? Or are they 50% of them? And so far, 100% of these have made it. And it's just interesting to see where they go, what they do. It's maybe a better fisherman just because I can see what water temperature they like, what ledges they're using to going up and down the coast. And working with the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy, I mean, it's great. Just great scientists over there. Dr. Winton, Dr. Scommel, he's with Massachusetts. Just great bunch of people over there. And it's really cool. You know, I'm bouncing ideas off them. These are people that have studied sharks their whole life, and it's just a completely different angle than what I see. I mean, they know exactly the gestation period versus what I know. What bait they prefer down here and the water temperature they prefer. So we're constantly bouncing ideas off each other, and it's made me a much better fisherman. And I know they've gained a lot of knowledge from this partnership we have. So it's been positive on both sides. Sharks are enormously important to our whole scene here. I mean, there are hyenas, there are lions of the water. They clean up the dead, the dying, the weak. They're keeping our ecosystem healthy. And a great example is, we had a virus that was killing the bottlenose dolphin around here. I think it was about 10 years ago. And as soon as that dolphin would die, it was still covered in that virus. And it spread a little bit, but as soon as one died, the sharks were on the scene, the bulls and the blacktips, destroying it, consuming it, and destroying that virus in their system. So the sharks are huge. They're extremely important to our whole scene here, keeping everything healthy. So great whites were hunted so much back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where they say that 80% of the population was wiped out in the Atlantic. So they protected them in the 90s, and they also protected the seals. And whenever you protect something, depending on how long it takes them to reproduce and get to the maturity to reproduce again, is how quick they come back. And now, 12 years ago, it was unheard of to catch one. But in the Atlantic, we've done really well with preserving these animals and protecting the ones that are on the decline. And the great white is a perfect success story. You know and I'll tell you what's changed a lot since these great whites it was like before I was advertising a lot, and now we have people coming in just to fish. And I think it's so cool that we're finally getting known for something besides golf and timeshare. Like, we're finally getting known for our water, for our wildlife, and for our fishing. We've been so lucky. I mean, and it's been a dream come true to catch these monsters and have these people come in to actually fish. Instead of making fish a side thing, fishing is now a priority. The best part of being at this dock, all the wildlife here, I mean, it's just, I don't think there's a better place to be. It's right behind Dockside Restaurant. I mean, this is as good as it gets. I mean, it's so many places on the island. I don't think there's another place to run charters out of, to hang out, have a drink, have a cocktail, have an appetizer, have dinner, lunch. I mean, this is just awesome. This is the A1A of areas. Having local legend and boathouse and dockside all come together and want to support us. I mean, it's key. We're all in the same business. We all survive off tourism. Everything is tourism on this island, and we're all in this together.